Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about the Fallow years, Dungeons & Dragons, and specifically a situation that I think the design choices of Mike Mearls, an opportunity that the design choices of Mike Mearls has uniquely created. Alright, I have been thinking a lot lately about Dungeons & Dragons, and specifically about settings. I think Dungeons & Dragons, especially with 5th edition, has absolutely hit its stride. It's running at a stride and a pace that I think the game has frankly never had, right? Certainly in the 90s, under 2nd edition, there was a fervor for the game, there was a lot of enthusiasm for the game, but the game was still, but one of the issues that I think really held Dungeons & Dragons back in the 1990s is, I'm not sure, well, I don't think TSR was a well-run company, right? So while there was a point where there were 600 people working at TSR, to create a game, I mean, that probably was not, well, that clearly wasn't a good idea. We now know that, right? All right, so I think what's happening right now with Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition is one of the best versions the game has ever had. And then in addition to that, Wizards of the Coast is running the company very lean and very well, right? But there's something, but Wizards of the Coast is owned by Hasbro. Hasbro this year was rocked, right? An event really occurred for Hasbro that really deeply affected the company, right? It was a major change. So Hasbro is a toy company. Toys R Us went out of business this year, shut down, and literally, I think it's hundreds of stores all over the United States of America shut down. And one of the places where My Little Pony, where Transformers, where multiple toy lines, that Hasbro owns would be sold, are gone. That's hundreds of stores. This is going to be a tight Christmas. This is going to be a tough Christmas for Hasbro, right? It's going to be the first time parents can't go and spend $300 on toys, in one lump visit at Toys R Us across the nation, right? That is going to impact Hasbro. That's going to impact WotC. That is going to impact Dungeons & Dragons, in my opinion. That seems really clear, right? All right, so I think at Hasbro, from the higher ups, the execs, they're like going to every single division saying, "You better shake the money tree, man." Like things were flush before, but right now, we want to put up some good numbers, and everybody's got to put up some good numbers. What puts up better numbers in the tabletop role-playing game industry than a new version? Absolutely nothing. That is the number one absolute killer way to actually produce to produce money that is coming from your product, right? So with that said, right, I think that Mike Mearls' design has specifically, his design choice has specifically created a really unique opportunity for Dungeons & Dragons, and that is what can be sold in the fallow years, right? So I think already, or very soon, the design work for Dungeons & Dragons 6th edition is going to happen. And I think it really might be, and if it hasn't already happened, it very well could be prompted from the executives of Hasbro at any time, right? So, when that happens, right, there's going to be two things, in my opinion, that happen. There's going to be a period of secret work that's done on the version, right? This has already been shown for Paizo. Paizo worked on Pathfinder 2e for 2 years before it began playtest, right? So there's going to be a period of secret work, and then there's going to be a period of public work, right? Every tabletop role-playing game company in the world is incredibly careful when they proceed forward to announce a new version, a new edition. And the reason why is it scares the heck out of every merchant, and it scares the heck out of every DM. Because for the merchants, they're like, oh man, all this product on my shelves is now close to worthless, right? Or worth less than it was yesterday at minimum, And every DM's like, oh my gosh, how deep did I get into this edition? Do I just have the core rule books? Or do I have 25 or 50, source books? Now get this. Mike Mearls made it so you can't have 50 source books for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, right? There's less than 10, right? That's incredible, right? So he was very careful to make it so that D&D 5th edition was going to be flexible and would be least punishing to dungeon masters and players when it came to the new edition. But get this is the really exciting part, right? because Mike Mearls looked at the edition transition from 4th to 5th and said, one of the things I'm not going to do is I'm not going to just go back and remake every old book that we had for 4th edition. Because that really just kicks in the teeth, those are my words, all those DMs and players, right? So there is no Dark Sun 5th edition book. There is no Player's Handbook 2. There is no Monster Manual 1, Monster Manual 2 for 5th edition. Every book is unique to 5th edition, and it's not just a rehash with a 5e slapped on the cover, and all the same content just for a new edition, right? That is really fascinating, right? But we're coming up on these fallow years, right? The moment Wizards of the Coast announces the new edition, you have a situation where people are no longer incented to buy 5th edition products, right? And those are the fallow years. We saw this in 4th edition. It was brutal. It was brutal, right? So Wizards of the Coast had to make money on the PHB, the DMG, and the MM, which you really shouldn't buy as soon as the new version is announced, right? And then they had to make money on books, right? On books that you know you're buying for a dead edition, right? It is incredibly difficult, right? So what do you do when you've been told by the executives of Hasbro, shake that money tree from your product, and you're going into the fallow years? Well, I will tell you what you can do. And Mike Mearls made the opportunity with his design choices. You can bring out the setting books that people have been begging for, right? You could drop them every 6 months, and those suckers will sell like hotcakes, right? You have not given. So here's the editions that I think they will drop every 6 months as soon as the fallow years start, right? Spelljammer, Dark Sun, Dragonlance. Now you tell me, what 5th edition DM is not going to buy every single one of those books? Not a one. I hate source books, and I would buy those things, right? This is brilliant, right? It is a huge opportunity because everybody's been denied those for every single day of the edition. The moment you can actually buy them, I think those are the perfect answer to the fallow years, is selling editions that you've denied the players for all the years of 5th edition, okay? Now, I think those are the editions those are settings they will bring out. So they're going to release settings, right? That would be what you would do in, I think I might have said editions. They're going to release settings, right? So they're going to release Spelljammer, they're going to release Dark Sun, they're going to release Dragonlance. And so you can sell these setting books that you've denied for all those years of 5th edition. Here's the editions, here's the settings that I would like to see made in the fallow years. I would like to see Birthright, I would like to see Thunder Rift, and I would like to see Dark Sun. Okay? And get this, here's what you do. Wizards of the Coast, the design team does not write any of these settings books. They farm this work out to Green Ronin. They farm this work out to Evil Hat. They farm this work out to Gallant Knight Games. They farm this work out to Runehammer Games, right? They don't spend any of their bandwidth doing this, right? They can put any competent, awesome company, third party, non-D&D company on this. That book is going to sell regardless, right? And then they spend their time and energy building 6th edition. This is the fallow years setting sales is the unique opportunity that the design choices of Mike Mearls created. I think it's a brilliant idea. I think this is the way they're going to go. This is my supposition that I think this is what's going to happen when we go into the fallow years. And I'll tell you right now, I think the secret work is going on right now on 6th edition. That's my take. Let me know what you think. Please consider liking and subscribing.